Begin this morning in the United Kingdom, where President Trump has arrived for an unprecedented second state visit. Over the next 2 days, he and First Lady Melania Trump will be feted by Britain's royal family. Then a meeting with Prime Minister Keir Starmer, in which the two governments will try to seal a trade agreement.
The president spoke about the historic nature of the invitation before leaving the White House yesterday.
Well, my relationship is very good with the UK, and Charles, as you know, who's now king, is my friend. And it's the first time this has ever happened where somebody was honored twice, so it's a great honor.
NBC News international correspondent Ralph Sanchez is standing by. He is there on the ground with more on the political and public reaction in the UK. But first, let's go to NBC's Alice Barr for the latest from Windsor. Alice, good morning. Also there on the ground. So this visit is kicking off with a lot of pomp and circumstance. Usually the UK doesn't extend an invitation for a state visit to a two-term president. That's sort of what President Trump was referencing there. How are the royals planning on welcoming back the first family?
Good morning, Savannah. With a lot of ceremony, a lot of regalia, something that President Trump surely appreciates. And we are expecting that he could land really any minute now. We're sort of inside the window from when Marine One is set to land inside the castle walls here at Windsor Castle. And inside being the operative word, because all of the ceremonial events that are going to happen today for the president, the first lady, and the royal family will be behind the castle walls. That is intentional. It's part of the security, the immense security presence that is underway here for this state visit. Again, it is unprecedented to have a second one. Typically, a second-term president has maybe a tea with the monarch, a little more informal, though hard to imagine those sorts of settings being anything like informal themselves. But today is going to be the full red carpet treatment. In fact, it's expected to be the largest military contingent this country has seen for a visiting foreign leader in any kind of recent memory. There are anticipated to be more than 1,300 military personnel on hand, and there will be the traditional carriage ride that will be the president, the first lady, Princess Kate, Prince William, and King Charles and Queen Camilla, all to be on hand for that. But again, there are a number of people that have gathered here. They're not going to be able to see any of that as it happens behind the castle walls.
So, Alice, that's all the fun stuff. When it comes to the official business, tomorrow the president meets with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. They have a lot to talk about between tariffs, and you got the war in Ukraine. What does the president's team hope to accomplish?
Yeah. So he did say before taking off to head over here, the president said that UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer wants to see the U.S.-UK trade deal refined a little bit. It is still not finalized, so we expect that there may be some work there to get that, fully inked. And the president said that he was willing to sort of be helpful, that the UK was looking for a little bit better terms in some areas, and that he may be willing to do that. There are also a number of tech CEOs that are coming to the UK at the same time: NVIDIA, Microsoft, OpenAI, and their presence here is certainly notable and points to, how much the business relationship between the US and the UK is a focus here, not just the trade relationship, but there have been discussions. There's a pharmaceutical giant here in the UK that has pledged some $30 billion in investment into the US, and then those companies I mentioned, Microsoft, NVIDIA, are promising investments into the UK in AI. So a strengthening of ties economically. And then in terms of foreign wars, you mentioned Ukraine. There's no question that that is going to be top of mind, I think, both here inside Windsor Castle with King Charles and certainly with Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, tomorrow. And in fact, I'm hearing just now the sound of helicopters. I believe that President Trump and the First Lady are set to land. I just saw one heading by. So we're about to see the beginning of the pomp and circumstance again before really more of the political tomorrow gets underway. Interesting to note that President Trump, before taking off, sort of put pressure on Ukrainian President Zelensky again, saying he has to get going to make a deal to end the war that Russia started. Joe and Savannah.
Alice, thank you very much.
For more, let's bring in NBC News international correspondent Ralph Sanchez in London. So, Ralph, I understand some massive demonstrations are expected to take place there today. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Joe, it's going to be kind of a split-screen day here in the UK. You'll have that pomp and circumstance as the President and First Lady with the royals at Windsor Castle. But here in London, we are expecting major demonstrations. We're in the center of the city right now. Tens of thousands of people later on today are expected to march down this road and into Parliament. They're gathering under the umbrella of the Stop Trump coalition, but it is a real range of causes, everything from the environment to Gaza to, President Trump's just sort of approach to democracy that British demonstrators will be gathering under. You mentioned the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. President Trump might have hoped to leave that behind in Washington, D.C., but last night, a group of British demonstrators actually projected images of the president and the convicted sex offender onto the walls of Windsor Castle. The British ambassador in Washington was actually fired last week after it emerged that he not only signed that same birthday book for Epstein that President Trump is alleged to have signed, he denies that, but also that he had a pretty extensive email correspondence with Epstein, and it may very well be that the president and the prime minister get asked about that tomorrow at their press conference. Guys.
Raf, security, of course, is a major concern. Obviously, there's been multiple attempts on President Trump's life. We have the Charlie Kirk shooting that has made lawmakers across the board really tighten up security. What are the plans here? How's the UK prepared for this?
Yeah, British authorities are taking no chances here, Savannah. So this is going to be the largest security operation in this country since the coronation of King Charles 2 years ago. All day we've been seeing helicopters over London. There's a massive police presence on the streets here. You're going to see a lot of armed police and snipers, which is unusual in a country where most officers are not armed. We've seen speedboats patrolling the River Thames. They're looking for anything that's hidden there. And then here in London, you're going to see a lot of police on the streets as these protests get underway. Authorities say they haven't changed their plans in response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but they are certainly very aware of the political climate in the United States, and they are taking it into account. Guys.
Raph, you also have the climate in the UK, the backdrop of political division, a royal family feud there. Can you explain what kind of environment the president is walking into and just what the British government hopes it gets out of this visit?
So it's been very interesting, Joe, as you and Alice were talking about. It is very unusual. In fact, this is the first time that an American president has been invited to make 2 state visits to the UK. And the British government has been pretty transparent. They're the ones who make the decisions on these invitations, not the royal family. They understand that President Trump is enamored with the royal family. They feel that it is a kind of diplomatic card that they can play in these negotiations. And they are hoping that at the end of this trip, after the president has enjoyed his state banquet and his tea with the king and queen, that there are going to be deals announced, both in terms of American investments in the UK, especially in the field of AI, but they are also hoping that there might be some scope for President Trump to ease some of the tariffs that he has imposed on Britain. They are especially focused on the export of British steel to the UK, something that President Trump has imposed a 25% tariff on. So they are hoping that there is going to be some business at the end of all this royal ceremony. Guys.
Right, Raph, thank you so much.
Well, back home in Washington, former CDC Director Susan Menares is set to go before a Senate committee hearing later this morning. So Menares was abruptly fired, you might remember this, it was by the Trump administration just last month after just a couple weeks on the job after she refused to resign under pressure.
She is expected to testify that Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pressured her to endorse new vaccine recommendations before seeing scientific evidence. Today's hearing kicks off a high-stakes week for the nation's top health agency.
NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Melanie Zanona joins us with a preview. Mel, good morning. So I want to read something that her lawyers had said. Susan's lawyers had said that she refused to, quote, rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives and fire dedicated health experts. What can we expect to hear from Menares today, as well as her former chief medical officer?
Good morning, guys. This is going to be a blockbuster hearing. This is the first time that Monterez is going to testify publicly since she was fired. And she did outline in a Wall Street Journal op-ed the circumstances surrounding her firing. But RFK Jr., in his own public hearing, pushed back on some of those details. So we're going to expect her to fill in some of the blanks here and provide more details about just why she was fired. And one of the things that she had said was that she was asked to fire longstanding health officials, which she felt uncomfortable doing and didn't think there was any justification for doing. And then, of course, as you mentioned, she says she was pressured to pre-approving recommendations about vaccines before even seeing the scientific evidence. So I expect, in addition to that, her and her chief medical officer, former chief medical officer, will probably provide a broader look at just the type of pressure they were under to pursue directives and potentially, in some cases, go against the science and go against what they were comfortable with. So this is a huge moment that has a lot of stakes for public health, but also politically, because we're going to be watching out very closely to see whether Republicans still have confidence in RFK Jr., the health secretary, after this hearing.
Mel, it's also an important week for the CDC. That's because the agency's advisory committee on immunization practices is set to meet beginning Thursday, tomorrow, to review and vote on several key vaccines. That includes COVID and measles. There's a lot at stake here when it comes to access to vaccines, insurance. What should we know about this?
That's right. This hearing is set to approve potentially some new recommendations regarding a slew of vaccines from COVID to hepatitis B. And what's important to note here is that RFK Jr., after he took the job, he fired every single person on that board and replaced them with hand-picked allies. And so the concern is that they're going to approve new recommendations that could negatively impact things like the availability of the vaccines, the insurance companies' willingness to cover them. That is the huge concern. And when RFK Jr. was initially going through his confirmation promise, he promised he would leave that board alone. He did not keep that promise. That's another reason why we're wondering whether Republicans are still going to be backing the secretary after today.
Mel, to switch it up here before we let you go, I do want to talk about this fight over government funding and a deadline. Again, a potential shutdown here. It's just 2 weeks away. House Republican leaders have released details about their bill to keep the government funded. That would go through November 21st. But where do things stand right now on negotiations? Is there any possibility of a bipartisan deal?
Well, at this point, it looks like it's headed towards a showdown. Republicans unveiled their own plan without Democratic buy-in to avoid a government shutdown. It is a pretty simple, straightforward bill. It's a 7-week extension of the current levels. It also includes additional money for member security. That was something that was a huge concern, obviously, in the wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination. But Democrats have already rejected that proposal because they want to include key health care provisions, including these expiring subsidies for Obamacare that are set to expire at the end of the year. So we'll see if they back down. They need Democratic votes, at least in the Senate, to avoid a government shutdown. And the deadline is just a few weeks away, guys.
All right, Mel, thank you so much.
FBI Director Kash Patel is set to return to Capitol Hill this morning to testify before the House Judiciary Committee. Patel faced heated questioning yesterday during a Senate hearing over his leadership at the FBI. He was also pressed on the handling of the investigation into the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles has more on the intense back and forth between Patel and lawmakers.
FBI Director Kash Patel grilled by Democrats.
I follow you on your social media posts that tear this country apart.
To address your falsehoods.
Criticizing Patel for initially announcing, then taking back news a suspect was caught in the Charlie Kirk shooting investigation.
So that was a mistake.
I don't see it as a mistake. I see it as something working with the public to identify that there was a subject in custody.
But Patel touting the FBI's record.
This FBI is delivering the results we are delivering to include the lowest murder rate in modern U.S. history.
And also making headlines on the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein.
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals.
Democrat Adam Schiff arguing the administration has not been transparent about why Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a lower security prison.
You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No, I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of inmates. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat.
The House Oversight Committee releasing the transcript of their closed-door interview with former Attorney General Bill Barr, where Barr testifies that he was not aware of any criminal link between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein.
Ryan, thank you. Let's now bring in retired FBI agent Rob D'Amico for more on Patel's testimony at the Capitol. Rob, good morning. Thanks for joining us again. I mean, it was no surprise that Patel was going to be grilled by lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Things were tense at times, as we just saw there. As a veteran of the Bureau, what were some of your biggest takeaways from this hearing yesterday?
My biggest was shock that he was so disrespectful. I mean, FBI directors have been up there before. There have been contentious hearings before, but none have ever gone off like he did, especially with like Adam Schiff. It was an embarrassment to the Bureau. Here's a person that is in charge of the entire, national law enforcement agency, the FBI, dealing with crisis matters and crisis negotiations and all these other things. And he can't remain calm, even when he's being grilled. Even if he had just said, Senator, I don't believe what you're saying. I think and remain calm. I think he would have stood out as, okay, above all of this. But I think he was performing. He's performing for an audience of one.
Patel was also pressed by Democratic Illinois Senator Dick Durbin. This is over the recent firings of FBI agents. I want to play some of that, and we'll talk right after.
So you're not accountable for your decisions to take people who've served our country so admirably and terminate them without any cause?
That's a one-sided story. Anyone that has been terminated from the FBI, generally speaking, failed to meet the needs of the FBI and uphold their constitutional duties.
Excuse me, it's disgraceful when Mr. Meyer and Mr. Giardina, who served our country so well, are terminated apparently because of the rants of a broadcaster.
That is your opinion. It is not a fact.
Well, it's certainly my opinion. I can back up with fact.
Well, Patel's actually now being sued by 3 former FBI leaders that he fired. They had argued that they were unlawfully targeted so Patel could stay in the good graces of President Trump. Rob, we might be having some technical difficulties with you. Oh, no, I think we still have you. Thank you so much. Walk us through, as a retired FBI agent, the pressure that it comes to upholding their duties and kind of the extraordinary step of the fact that they're suing here.
Yeah. It really goes against everything that they've been about for their entire careers to turn around and sue. But they've been selfless. I mean, and I'll, to be upfront, Brian Driscoll is a friend of mine. We're on the hostage rescue team together. Here's a guy that's been awarded for covert ops overseas, helping nationally, with a very high risk arrest. He's not a person to be in the spotlight. He doesn't like that. And other agents I don't know as well, but that's not what they're about. When you join the FBI, you're apolitical, and it's hard for people to believe that. You work on cases because you're told to work on cases, and when you get a case, you do the best of your ability to do that case. So I don't think people understand that. And for them to go out, but you have to admit, though, when things were going down, they're investigators. They take notes. At all these meetings, they were taking notes, especially with what was going on. They would not put that in a lawsuit if it absolutely wasn't, they had some type of proof to it. And it just shows the things that were said in the lawsuit that the Director Patel said, I think show amateurish of admitting that you're firing someone and it's illegal and you probably get deposed for it or get, called out on it. Who says that? Like, it's just one of those things. And I think it just goes back to, when you look at his testimony, it's the same thing. It's emotional. He's performing for somebody to keep his job because there's been some, talk out there that some people are upset because of other things. But the lawsuit really sheds light into how things were being done. And the fact that I really like some of the senators asked direct questions. So he had to say, he avoided yes or no. He really tried to avoid that. But when pinned on it, he said that he did not take any direction from the White House on firing people. Now, he said it was always up to his final opinion to do it, But that's not what they're after. They're like, were you told about doing it? And he walked around it, but eventually they got him to say that. And I think those are the things that you're putting on there. Did he lie to Congress when this comes out?
All right, Rob D'Amico, we appreciate your time, that we can tap into your expertise and experience here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We do want to check in with breaking news happening right now. There you see the president, I believe, in the carriage right there with the king.
In the carriage in Windsor. That's where we were just speaking with Alice Barr from. Clearly, they have made their way. Just a moment ago, she said that she believed they were about to arrive. The president on the ground there, being greeted by the royal family. We've been saying it, pomp and circumstance, but there's the carriage and the horses.
It doesn't get any more pompish or circumstance-ish than being with the royal family there in the UK. Certainly a big event there. We'll continue to check in throughout the morning.
Yeah, we'll bring you updates from the ground. Now, though, in Utah, prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty for Charlie Kirk's accused killer. The 22-year-old suspect, his name's Tyler Robinson, made his first court appearance yesterday, where prosecutors outlined the charges against him, including aggravated murder. Investigators also released fresh evidence and revealing new insight into his motive. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky is in Provo, Utah with the details.
The suspect in the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk appearing in court, wearing a safety smock to prevent suicide.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson facing 7 counts, including aggravated murder. The prosecutor's saying he'll seek the death penalty, which means a potential firing squad.
I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently.
The prosecutor also revealing new details about the hours leading up to Robinson's arrest, saying his mother saw these surveillance images, believing it looked like her son, calling him to ask where he'd been.
He said he was at home sick.
Then revealing her suspicions to her husband.
Robinson's father agreed. Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views.
Prosecutors say Robinson's parents then spoke with him at their home.
Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it.
They called a family friend who convinced Robinson to turn himself in. We're also learning more about disturbing text messages. Prosecutors say he sent his roommate the day of the shooting, telling the roommate to look under his keyboard.
The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
The prosecutor saying the roommate later texted, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" And Robinson responded, "I am. I'm sorry." The roommate asking why, and Robinson writing, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out," telling his roommate to delete the texts and not talk to police.
Mr. Gray, are you confident that the roommate had no part of this attack whatsoever?
Again, I'm not going to comment on the evidence.
The FBI says its investigation is not over, including into an online group chat Robinson was allegedly communicating with.
So others could have been involved?
Yes, sir.
Authorities also shared additional evidence they believe ties Robinson to this crime, but pointing to a DNA match on the trigger of that bolt-action rifle they say Robinson used, as well as target boards with bullet holes in them inside his apartment. Not only that, but they say included in that text message exchange between Robinson and his roommate, when the roommate asked him how long he had been planning this, authorities say he allegedly responded, over a week. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Provo, Utah.
Here in New York, a court hearing for Luigi Mangione took a surprising turn yesterday. The judge took the step of dismissing 2 of the most serious charges he's facing for allegedly murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. NBC News senior national correspondent Stephanie Gosk was in the courtroom and has the story.
Luigi Mangione was escorted into New York State Court cuffed and in prison clothes just before the judge handed down a surprise decision dropping the 2 terrorism charges in the case.
How big a blow is this to the Manhattan DA? This is a huge blow for the prosecution and a win for the defense. This takes first-degree murder off the table. The penalty is much less now.
Prosecutors accused Mangione of committing an act of terrorism when he gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan last December.
In its most basic terms, this was a killing that was intended to evoke terror.
In his decision, the judge said Mangione was clearly expressing an animus toward the healthcare industry. But the evidence failed to prove he committed the crime to coerce or intimidate a civilian population.
The terrorism charges dropped!
Outside the courthouse, Mangione's supporters cheered the decision. But he still faces 9 state charges, including second-degree murder, which could mean life in prison, and 4 federal charges, including one carrying a possible death sentence. The 27-year-old pleaded not guilty in both cases. A fund set up to pay for his legal expenses now tops more than $1.2 million.
Trial dates have yet to be set for New York City in the state and federal case. Mangione's next court appearance is scheduled for November in Pennsylvania, where he faces multiple charges, including gun possession. He's yet to enter a plea in that case. Back to you.
Stephanie, thank you.
Well, in California, the Menendez brothers have lost their long-shot bid for a new trial. A Los Angeles judge ruled Eric and Lyle Menendez did not meet the threshold to overturn their murder convictions. In a 16-page ruling, the judge said the brothers failed to show enough evidence that their convictions were unjust. Earlier this year, a different judge resentenced each of the brothers to 50 years to life for the 1989 murders of their parents on the basis of their conduct in prison, making them eligible for parole. However, that path to freedom was blocked when each brother was denied parole for 3 years by a state panel last month. The brothers have also appealed to Governor Gavin Newsom for clemency, but he has yet to respond.
All right, get your umbrellas out. Some showers are expected in pockets from coast to coast today. We've got more now with your morning news now weather.
Okay, also, Angie Lassman's here in studio. It was chilly here this morning.
It was. We have those onshore winds behind this area of low pressure, guys, that has left us feeling a little cooler than we have in previous days, but also unsettled across much of the mid-Atlantic and parts of the Northeast. So here's the deal with what we have right now. Still, this area kind of spinning just off to the east of the coast there for places like Atlantic City. You're getting some of that rain spinning on in, and it stretches inland too, just east of Roanoke, dealing with some of those showers. And then farther to the north, you can see some of these showers kind of dissipating, but still hanging out near the coast. And that's the general idea of what we're going to deal with. This system, at least the low pressure, will start to weaken as it kind of drifts to the north. But again, still some of that rain in pockets from essentially Virginia to Massachusetts. So we'll watch for that through the day today. Meanwhile, out west, we've got a marginal risk for flash flooding. Not all that impressive, but just something to note because we do have a good batch of some moisture that's going to work up into portions of Southern California. This is tropical moisture that's leaving us with the chance for not only some heavy rain in a couple of spots, but also some thunderstorms, especially in those southern areas of this region. By tomorrow, we'll see most of that working through in the morning hours and then even stretching up into the central portions of the state. So we'll still be dealing with the potential for some heavy rain in a really short period of time. Impressive, not quite as impressive rainfall totals, but of course we know how fickle this area is, especially when you consider burn scars and things like that. We have the chance to pick up maybe a half an inch up to an inch potentially through Thursday.
Something to always keep an eye on out there out west.
Always.
All right, thanks, Angie.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.